The Tonight Show studio was buzzing with its usual energy, but tonight there was something special in the air. Jimmy Fallon sat behind his desk with that familiar grin, looking into the camera as the audience settled into their seats. Women in the crowd were particularly excited, because tonight's guest wasn't just Bridgerton's beloved star, but also People magazine's newly crowned Sexiest Man Alive. "Ladies and gentlemen," Fallon began, his voice carrying a playful tone, "we have a truly special guest tonight. You know, every year People magazine releases their list of the world's sexiest men, and this year," he paused, waiting for the audience reaction. Women were already starting to scream. "This year, the #1 spot goes to someone who's here with us tonight. You know him from Bridgerton, the absolutely gorgeous English gentleman. Jonathan Bailey!" The studio erupted in standing ovations. Jonathan Bailey emerged from backstage with that characteristic shy smile of his. He was wearing a perfectly tailored navy blue suit, his hair immaculately styled, but there was genuine surprise in his eyes. As he walked toward Fallon, the audience's screams grew even louder. Some women were shouting, "We love you, Jonathan." "Wow," Bailey said, adjusting his microphone. This is incredible. Really." He shook hands with Fallon and sat down. "Americans are genuinely so warm-hearted. Jonathan, Jonathan, Jonathan," Fallon said, shaking his head. "First of all, congratulations. People magazine's Sexiest Man Alive title. How are you feeling?" Bailey started laughing, but it was genuine laughter, a mix of embarrassment and amazement. "You're asking that half-jokingly, right, Jimmy? I mean, I'm just a guy who rides horses on Bridgerton. This is so surreal." "No, no, no," Fallon waved his hand. "You are the world's sexiest man. Officially. It says so in the magazine." He pulled out a copy of People magazine from his desk and showed it to the camera. Bailey's photo was gleaming on the cover. "Look, right here. Sexiest Man Alive 2024, Jonathan Bailey." "This is real." Bailey looked at the magazine and blushed. "Oh my God, my mother is going to see this." "This is so embarrassing." The audience laughed hysterically. Fallon put on a mock-serious expression. "Embarrassing? You're currently the dream man of millions of women. Twitter has gone crazy." "What's Twitter saying?" Bailey asked, genuinely curious. Fallon pulled out his phone. "Let me check. Jonathan Bailey stays humble even when learning he's sexy, which makes him even sexier. Bailey's shy smile is going to give me a heart attack. The reason I've watched Bridgerton 47 times has now been officially proven." Bailey had covered his face with his hands. "Please stop this." Wait, here's the best one," Fallon continued. "Jonathan Bailey looks so handsome on the People magazine cover that I framed the magazine and hung it in my living room. My husband is complaining, but I don't care." The studio was cracking up with laughter. Bailey hung his head but couldn't stop smiling. "You're literally killing me." "So tell me," Fallon said, bringing his voice to a slightly more serious tone. "When you first heard this news, what did you feel? Because this is huge. You were chosen after names like Ryan Gosling, Michael B. Jordan." Bailey took a deep breath. Everyone in the studio had gone quiet, expecting a genuine answer. "Honestly, Jimmy," he began, his voice slightly trembling. "At first I thought it was a joke. I mean, I'm just an English actor who came from theater. I live in a small flat in London with my cat Pickle." The audience responded with awe. "And suddenly they're telling me, you're the world's sexiest man. This is so unreal." "But you deserve it," Fallon said sincerely. "Your performance in Bridgerton, your character Anthony Bridgerton. Women fell in love with you." "Anthony," Bailey said, his eyes lighting up. Playing Anthony was an incredible experience. Because he's not just handsome. He's complex, emotional, vulnerable. And I think people connect with that vulnerability. He's not perfect. He's fragile. Speaking of not being perfect, Fallon smiled. "You're definitely close to perfect. I mean, the man sitting across from me right now is on the cover of People magazine." Bailey started laughing again. "You know, Jimmy, before this interview, my mother called. And she said, and Jonathan, remember that you're still the child who used to forget to brush his teeth and wake up with bad breath in the morning. My mother keeps me grounded. What does your mother say about this?" "Oh, she's very proud, but she's also worried. She says, you'll eat more vegetables now, won't you? Because everyone's watching you now. As if my eating habits are People magazine's responsibility." Fallon laughed hysterically. "That's amazing. What about your friends? What do they say?" A mischievous expression appeared on Bailey's face. "My friends? They're terrible. They just write sexy man in our group WhatsApp. Constantly. Before every message, what's sexy man doing? Is sexy man drinking tea? This morning when I went to get coffee, the barista recognized me and said, "It's free because you're the sexy man." This is crazy. Really? Fallon was surprised. I swear. And the funniest part is I'm just a normal person. I wake up in the mornings. My hair's a mess. I have to drink coffee or I can't function. When I have to go to the gym, I groan. These are very normal things. But that's what makes you even more attractive. Fallon said, "You're real. Even after becoming this famous, you're still down to earth." Bailey paused, taking on a serious expression. "You know, Jimmy, receiving this award, it's not just about appearance. People magazine also praised my work on Bridgerton, my theater background, my advocacy for the LGBTQ+ community. That's very meaningful to me." The studio had quieted down. Everyone was listening. "This platform gives me a responsibility," Bailey continued, "especially for young LGBTQ+ individuals. I want to show them that you can be who you are, achieve your dreams, and still be accepted." "That's a very powerful message," Fallon nodded. "That's beautiful, Jonathan. And you're definitely being a positive role model." "I hope so. Because this kind of title, it's a big power. And with great power comes great responsibility, right?" "Are you quoting Spider-Man?" Fallon asked jokingly. Bailey laughed. "Yes, you see, I'm just a nerd." "A sexy nerd maybe, but still a nerd." The audience started applauding again. Fallon asked, "So what's going to change in your life with this new title?" "Honestly, I hope nothing changes," Bailey said. "I'm still the same person. I still do the same job. I still have the same passions. The only difference is, maybe more people are watching now. But this both excites and scares me. Why does it scare you?" Bailey took on a thoughtful expression. "Because now I need to be more careful. Everything I do, every word I say, people will interpret it. But at the same time, this is a great opportunity. I can reach more people, do more meaningful projects." "Let's talk about Bridgerton's third season," Fallon said. "How will Anthony's story continue?" Bailey's eyes sparkled. "Oh, they ask this a lot. Anthony and Kate's story. This is a magnificent love story. And in the third season, you'll see them as a happy married couple. But of course, there will be new dramas too. Don't give spoilers," Fallon warned jokingly. I won't. But I can say this. Anthony is more mature, calmer this season. Love changed him. Kate made him a better man. Are you looking for someone like that in real life? Someone like Kate? Bailey smiled, but this time it was a more intimate smile. I'm very lucky. I have people in my life who love me for who I am, and that's more valuable than this people title. Do you want to talk about your love life? I prefer to keep my private life private, Bailey said kindly. But I can say this. Love, real love, is stronger than anything. And I feel very lucky, Fallon nodded. I understand. So, what are your future plans with this new title? Very exciting projects are coming, Bailey said. Some haven't been announced yet, but big things are coming, both on television and in cinema. And of course, I'm planning to return to theater. That's my first love, West End. Both West End and Broadway. I love New York very much, and working with American audiences is an incredible experience. Fallon took a paper from his desk. Now we have some questions from our viewers. Are you ready? Oh no, Bailey said, laughing. But go ahead. First question from Sarah in Arizona. Jonathan, are the horse riding scenes in Bridgerton real? Can you actually ride horses? Bailey smiled proudly. Yes, I can really ride horses. I learned as a child, and I actually filmed most of those scenes myself. Of course, there was a stunt double for dangerous scenes, but generally it was me. Second question from Jennifer in Texas. What's his favorite Bridgerton costume? Oh, that's easy. Anthony's costume in the duel scene. That's very iconic, and it really reflects the fashion of that era. Our costume designers do incredible work. Third question. This is interesting. From Michael in California. What was the first thing he did when he received People magazine's title? Bailey laughed hysterically. To be honest, I looked in the mirror and said, really? And then I told my cat, Pickle. He didn't seem very impressed either. What kind of cat is Pickle? He's a British Shorthair, and very arrogant. My being famous doesn't affect him at all. He still wants food from me and climbs on my lap to sleep. He keeps me grounded. Fallon was laughing. Last question. This is very nice. From Emma in England. What advice would you give to young Jonathan? Bailey took on a serious expression. He needed to think about this question. To young Jonathan. I would say this: believe in yourself. You are enough exactly as you are. Being different means being strong. And most importantly, keep your heart open. Open to love, friendship, opportunities. Because life will surprise you with very beautiful places. The studio was in silence. Then slowly applause began, gradually rising. Jonathan Bailey, everyone, Fallon said, standing up. People magazine's sexiest man alive. Don't miss Bridgerton, streaming on Netflix. Bailey stood up, waved to the audience. But as he was leaving, Fallon whispered to him, "Hey, you really deserve this." Bailey smiled. "Thank you, Jimmy. This was an unforgettable night." As he left the stage, the audience was standing and applauding, screaming. Social media had already gone crazy. This wasn't just a talk show interview. This was a moment. A moment that showed Jonathan Bailey's real personality, warmth, and humility. And the next day, news was coming from all over the world. Jonathan Bailey's sincerity on Tonight's Show made him even more beloved. Bailey's modesty shows what real attractiveness is. This is how a real gentleman behaves. Because sometimes, real sex appeal is much more than appearance. Sometimes it's just being real.